Hello, McDude here, and what you're looking at is a battle on the Ash River map. Normally, if I'm intending to record, I record live, but which I got into not too long ago. But sometimes I play just for the fun of it, with no intention to record. And sometimes the game is just too good to pass up, and I just feel compelled to share it with you. And in those instances, I just cross my fingers and hope the replay system works. Anyway, shortly after the spawn point, I take off. I head to my favorite sniping position. Now, I'm the first to admit, I am not a good War Thunder player of any sort. And the reason why is I don't play War Thunder like it's a video game. I fight War Thunder like it's a war. And I do certain things that are accepted war tactics that might not necessarily be accepted video game tactics. One of them is sniping. I've taken up a position here to fire on a ridge on the opposite side of the bridge to fire at a StuG 3. Now, in the replay system, you can't see the target reticle. A little bit of aviation action for you. You can't see the target reticle. So you just have to take my word. I'm firing on a StuG 3. Or, what is it War Thunder calls it? Sniper mode? It's a target reticle. It's what the gunner looks through to fire on vehicles. I've already scored a couple of direct hits. Actually, every shot I've taken is a direct hit on this StuG 3. I can't crack it. You just can't crack the StuG 3's frontal armor from any distance with any gun. I've never been able to do that. However, to my advantage, the StuG 3 with its stubby gun just doesn't have the range, anywhere near the range, to fire on me from this distance. It can maybe fire halfway. But I can certainly fire on him. I can also fire on the Panzer IV sitting next to him that I just took out. And in fact, I can fire on any vehicle that pulls up alongside him, and I can crack those other vehicles. While I can't crack the StuG 3, I can crack anyone who's dumb enough to park alongside him. And as you saw, I just cracked a Panzer IV. So anyway, I sit for my standoff position, and like I said, I'm perfectly fine with sniping. I'm perfectly fine with camping. These things are done in war. They're done to win battles. They're not accepted video game tactics, but they're accepted war tactics. So I engage in them. But the only tactic I really don't like is ramming. Because ramming is suicidal. And suicide is almost never an accepted form of battle. I understand people are going to talk about kamikazes and bonsai charges. But you know, kamikazes were very rare. And they were very controversial within the Japanese Navy. Not so much the Japanese Air Force. But they were very controversial in the Japanese Navy. Saburo Sakai, the noted Japanese ace. There you go. I just cracked another Panzer IV. Actually, it's the same guy. I took him out of the fight. As I was saying, the noted Japanese ace Saburo Sakai actually complained vocally about the demoralization of the Japanese naval air forces from suicide tactics like kamikaze. And so did many other commanders. Genda, who Commander Sorogenda? I forget his full name. Might have been Minoru Genda. I'm sure you can correct me in the comments section, but he complained also about the kamikaze tactics. In the Army, bonsai charges were not considered to be kamikaze necessarily. They were just an outdated use of a very old tactic that didn't belong in modern warfare. And so that was entirely different. But suicide tactics have never been an accepted form of warfare amongst professional warriors, which is why I'm not a fan of ramming. Anyhow, getting back to the battle itself, after I silenced destroyed the two Panzer IVs, the Stug 3 did something strange. It disappeared. It drove around in circles, and I was able to hit it on its side at least once, but then it disappeared, and I saw it through the target reticle. I saw the Stug 3 just disappear, and I don't know if I destroyed it or if it was an AI that suddenly wasn't going to be rendered anymore, or what the story was. Or maybe someone else destroyed it. But like I said, it just disappeared. So I head down and start approaching through a ravine that goes under the bridges, under one of the bridges, but alongside another one. And as I start advancing up the hill, a series of explosions tell me I should slow down. So I look around a little bit. My tank is also having a little bit of a problem climbing the hill. And I'm not sure what all that smoke is about. If that's incoming artillery fire, or incoming tank fire, or if it's just some visual effect that Gaijin is giving us. But that smoke is kind of freaking me out. So I end up heading up the hill very slowly. And I do look that span over to see if it's possible. I've been trying to drive on these damn bridges since the closed beta testing. And Gaijin's done a good job of cutting you off, so you can't drive on these bridges. But basically I'm just looking for another sniper position up close. As I mentioned in a previous game, the T-34 is one of my favorite Tier 1 tanks. It can take a lot of punishment. The gun has the 76mm gun has a pretty serious range, so I can fire on things from a distance. It does have like 4 extra machine guns, including 2 in separate turrets, but none of them work. And I don't know if Gaijin plans to make them work, but it doesn't matter. There's really nothing for them to shoot at. There's no infantry. Tanks can't be harmed by aircraft, not by machine guns. And airplanes, well, they're always too far away. It's difficult to judge their distance. And that's probably probably for the better. If I got preoccupied shooting machine guns at airplanes, I would probably not shoot at tanks. I'd probably just get myself wasted more often than I do, so it's probably better off that I don't have operating machine guns. So, in the distance, on the opposite ridge, on the opposite side of the ravine, there's a Stug 3 that I'm tracking. I don't know if it's the same one or a different one. That's a Dornier 217. You see roaming around. But anyway, I'm trying to get a beat on this Stug 3. And I advance a little bit, It's always hidden behind a tree or a rock or something. And one of the beauties of these you know, while a drawback of the I finally start shooting. A drawback of the replay system, like I said, is you can't see the target reticle. But the beauty of it is, I can show you things like, you know, the DO-217 shooting at that I-15 while I, you know, adjust my target. Now, as I start shooting at the StuG starts returning fire. There you go. Most of the time, he's missing. He's undershooting and hitting the side. You see, like that. He's hitting the side of the cliff. Every now and then, he's able to get one airborne and score a hit on me. And unfortunately, I'm being stubborn. I'm just sitting there, waiting for my gunner to reload, taking a shot at him, getting my controls confused. He hits me again. The gunner's out. So I start retreating under the bridge, or under the span. I do manage to take a shot the moment the gunner comes back up, but that's just cover fire to try to convince him to back off. When I get under the bridge, I stop and I press whatever the button is, F10, not F10, button 10, whatever the button they told me is, that I have configured to conduct repairs. And I just sit and wait for the tank to fix itself. So as I sit here, conducting repairs, I begin contemplating my next move. As you can see in the game bar, there are 2 capture points. Blue is 1, red is 1. We've been threatening red the entire time. Blue, and they've been threatening blue the entire time. Directly off in the distance is blue. It's A. And the enemy is threatening to capture it. So one of my tactics is, when I see that, and I have no evidence that we're defending it, I might put a couple of rounds down in A, just to try to strike fear into enemy units that are trying to capture it. I'll usually switch to high explosives to do this. Just put a couple of rounds down in that general area and see if I can get them to retreat. Sometimes it works. If they're operating like a soft skin vehicle, like a flak panzer. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, I'm forced to turn the vehicle around. Excuse me. And head over to A, personally. So I go ahead, I try to wrap up repairs. There's something going on off to the left that's drawing my attention. I know what it is. That's a Panzer 4 that takes a shot at me. Pardon me. I take a shot at him, and he disappears behind those trees. And he never returns for the rest of the game. I don't know what the story was with him, if he was AI or a human player, but I never did see him. You'll notice that in a lot of my games I'm using Tier 1 vehicles, and the reason why is, you know, I'm enjoying the game. And I'm not throwing money at the game, I'm just playing it. You know, a lot of YouTubers I've noticed, they don't post a lot of War Thunder tanks videos, but yet they're all the way up on level 3, level 4. You know, pulling out Tiger tanks and SU-100s, and I don't understand that. If you've played that far into the game, why wouldn't you post more videos? And yet many of them aren't. And yet they've obviously played very far into the game, or they just spent a bunch of money and rocketed, you know, bought their way up to Tier 3, Tier 4. I'm not doing that. I spent too much money on War Thunder planes. War Thunder has an amazing, very impressive business model. They really know how to get money out of people. And I've fallen into it. I probably spent about $100 in the game, I'll admit it. Try to get more airplanes, better airplanes, upgrade my airplanes, even skins. You know, crew training and all this stuff. And I'm just not going to do that with tanks. I kind of think that was a waste with the airplanes. But hey, hats off to War Thunder. They got a great business model. They know how to get people to do that. But for tanks, I'm just gonna play my way through. Right now, one of our team members said defend the A point, and the A point certainly looks threatened. So I start up the hill. And that's the bridge I was on earlier. That goes to the spawn point. It is not where I'm going. I come down. Just don't have my hang of driving this stupid thing. My controls for tanks are unusual. I use the Saytech X52 joystick and throttle for tanks. And the reason I started doing that was I saw it. I saw in the tank controls we had an option to do that. And I kind of thought that would give me a level of control a little better than the mouse and keyboard. It's different. It allows you to stop a tank on a dime. But I use the hat switch to turn left and right off the joystick. I use the throttle to go forward and back. To turn the gun around, I'm coming up with a Panzer II in Section A here. Surprise! So I take him out. And I take up position here, and I decide to turn the vehicle around to point my glacis arm, my frontal armor, at the at that ravine to my right. So I got to turn the vehicle around here. And I wasn't really sure what all that noise is, because there's a bunch of noise going on in the game. Here he comes. It's a StuG 3. My nemesis. I hate these damn things. And while I'm trying to reload, he drives around me. He drives up alongside me. I turn my turret around, and not only does he hit me, but he's obviously invested a lot in quick reloads, because he's reloading his gun very fast. And while I'm able to turn my turret around, I can't deflect it enough to take a shot down on him. I just took a shot, but I'm sure it completely missed him. And he's backing up and ramming against me. And he knows how to flip tanks. He's definitely pulled it off, because he just flipped me over. He's definitely not new to flipping people over. Meanwhile, there's a flak panzer that's putting all the shots into me. I'll try to move the camera around so you can see him. I was close to getting my turret down to taking a shot at him, But using a joystick as a turret, sometimes you can get lost. To control your turret, sometimes you get lost. Which I did. If I brought him around quickly enough, I could have had him. But I couldn't. And obviously the Flak Panzer's re-aiming quickly too. Because he's putting a lot of ammunition down in a short amount of time. So I respawn nearby, and the spawn point is directly above where I was, and I find out where that sound was coming from. It was the BF-110 that was flying overhead that has crashed up at the spawn point. And his engines are still running. And that's where that noise is coming from. So I head down the spawn point, and I recognize that circle immediately, so I stop. I take a shot too quickly, hit the rocks. And the Flak Panzer gives his position away by shooting at me. So I now know exactly where to fire. I start firing on the Flak Panzer. I probably should back up to protect myself, but on the other hand, screw him. So I take out the Flak Panzer, and now the StuG-3 is able to start firing on me. So I start leveling fire down the StuG-3. The first thing I go for is his tracks. Now, once I got his tracks, what I should have done was rush down there and give him a taste of his own medicine. I should have rushed down there, rammed him, run him over, fired into his belly, done all that stuff. I should have gave him a taste of his own medicine. But no, I tried to operate like a tank and just shoot at him from up here, snipe at him from behind the rocks. And so I keep firing on him. And I think I'm the last man standing at this point. I don't believe there's anyone left other than this StuG coming up behind me. And I don't even see him coming, because I'm too busy firing on his friend. And like I said before, I get target fixation. So the StuG-3 comes up behind me, and he just fires on me, and I can't back up, and I can't turn my turret around. So he just keeps firing into me. I get a little bit of control over the vehicle, and I try to back up now, and he decides, you know, he's not going to let me escape. And he must have poured a lot of money into quick reloads, because he's just pouring out, you know, round after round. And now I get rammed. And that's not the guy who got me last time. That might be the guy who rammed me before. But anyway, I was the last man standing in this game. I was the last of my team, because after I went down, the game pretty much ended. And that's that battle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe.